Hello everyone, welcome to the course of Theoretical Phonetics. Today we have the lecture number 3, Aspects of the Sound Matter of Language. There are two major classes of sounds traditionally distinguished in any language. They are consonants and vowels. The apposition vowels versus consonants is a linguistic universal. The distinction is based mainly on auditory effect. Consonants are known to have voice and noise combined, while vowels are sounds consisting of voice only. From the articulatory point of view, the difference is due to the work of speech organs. In case of vowels, no abstraction is made, so on the perception level their integral characteristics is tone, not noise. In case of consonants, various abstractions are made, so consonants are characterized by a complete, partial or intermittent blockage of the air passage. The closure is formed in such a way that the air stream is blocked or hindered or otherwise gives rise to audible friction. As a result, consonants are sounds which have noise as their indispensable characteristic. Russian phoneticians classify consonants according to the following principles. So the first is the degree of noise, the second is the place of articulation, the third is the manner of articulation, fourth, position of the soft palate, and the last one, force of articulation. There are few ways of seeing situation concerning the classification of English consonants. According to Vasilyev, primary importance should be given to the type of abstraction and the manner of production noise. On this ground, he distinguishes two large classes: occlusive, in the production of which is a complete abstraction is formed; constructive, in the production of which an incomplete abstraction is formed. Each of two classes is subdivided into noise consonants and sonorants. Another point of view is shared by a group of Russian phoneticians. They suggest that the first and basic principle of classification should be the degree of noise. Such consideration leads to dividing English consonants into general kinds, noise consonants, and sonorants. The term degree of noise belongs to auditory level of analysis, but there is an intrinsic connection between articulatory and auditory aspect of describing speech sounds. In this case, the term of auditory aspect defines the characteristic more adequately. Sonorants are sounds that differ greatly from other consonants. This is due to the fact that in their production, the air passage between the two organs of speech is fairly wide. That is much wider than in the production of noise consonants. As a result, the auditory effect is tone, not noise. This peculiarity of articulation makes sonorants sound more like vowels than consonants. Acoustically, sonorants are opposed to all other consonants because they are characterized by sharply defined form and structure, and the total energy of most of them is very high. There are no sonorants in the classification suggested by British and American scholars. So Daniel Jones and Henry Gleason, for example, give separate groups of nasals. As we know, the lateral and the semivowels, or glides, w, r, g, g. Bernard Bloch and the George Tugger, besides nasals and lateral, give trilled r. According to Russian phoneticians, sonorants are considered to be consonants from articulatory, acoustic, and phonological point of view. You may see all this on our figures that is shown here, the glides and nasals. So the place of articulation. The principle of consonant classification is rather universal. The only difference is that Vasilyev, Torsuev, and Dikushina, Gleason give more detailed and precise enumeration of active organs of speech than Gleason, Bloch, Traeger, and others. There is, however, controversy about terming the active organs of speech. So thus Russian phoneticians divide the tongue into the following parts: front with the tip, middle, and the back. Following Sherber's terminology, the front part of the tongue is subdivided into apical, dorsal, cacuminal, and retroflex according to the position of the tip and the blade of the tongue in relation to the teeth ridge. Gleason's terms differ from those by Russian phoneticians. Apical is equivalent to forelingual. Frontal is equivalent to mediolingual. Dorsum is the whole upper area of the tongue. So Gleason's terms in respect to the bulk of the tongue are: apex, the part of the tongue that lies at rest opposite the alveoli; front, the part of the tongue that lies at rest opposite the forepart of the palate; and back, or otherwise dorsum, the part of the tongue that lies at rest opposite the velum or the back part of the palate. Trakterov, Tarsuev, Vasilyev, and other Russian scholars consider the principle of classification according to the manner of articulation to be one of the most important and classify consonants very accurately, logically, and thoroughly. They suggest a classification from the point of view of closure. It may be complete closure, then occlusive stop-oplosive consonants are produced; incomplete closure, then constructive consonants are produced; and the combination of two closures, then occlusive constructive consonants or affricates are produced; and intermittent closure, then rolled or thrilled consonants are produced. So Gleason, Jones, and other foreign phoneticians include the manner of noise production groups of lateral, nasals, and semivowels, subgroups of consonants which do not belong to a single class. Russian phoneticians subdivide consonants into unicentral, pronounced with one focus, and bicentral, pronounced with two foci, according to the number of noise-producing centers or foci, according to the shape of narrowing constructive consonants and affricates. This are subdivided into sounds with flat narrowing and round narrowing. According to the position of the soft palate, all consonants are subdivided into oral and nasal. When the soft palate is raised, oral consonants are produced. When the soft palate is lowered, nasal consonants are produced. According to the force of articulation, consonants may be fortis and lenis. This characteristic is connected with the work of the vocal cords. Voiceless consonants are strong and voiced are weak. This is the end of lecture number 3. Thank you for your attention.